Quick heads up, this video is split into 3 parts. I'll be leaving timestamps in the description and the pinned comment, but the beginning section is all about how NRS goes about nerfing and buffing characters and how they decide those things. I think it's really interesting, but if you were only here for the nerfs and buffs for both cameos and main characters, I have those split up into segments as well, so you can click the timestamps below if you'd prefer to do that. Alright, enjoy. Season 3 is right around the corner for Mortal Kombat 1. Right around the corner being on Thursday, so less than 2 days from now. With it, we'll be getting Quan Chi, new skins, a new invasions map, and most importantly, a new balance patch. NRS is being pretty consistent as to how they've always updated their characters in their games. When Season 3 releases, it'll be about 52 days since we got the big patch that nerfed Baraka, it nerfed Cyrax, it changed properties for a ton of the characters in this game, and we haven't had all that much since. We got the Johnny Cage tiny health nerf, and that's kind of what NRS has done in the past. You get a major one, you get a tuning buff, and then you get another major one. But with buffs and nerfs, not everyone is going to be happy. There are 1,000 opinions on who should be buffed and nerfed. There are people in these comments right now, I bet you, that want Sub-Zero nerfed. And I know 90% of you don't agree with that. So again, it's a controversial topic, probably just as much as tier lists, so please try and be kind. Not to me, because I'm not the one doing it, but just know when you have your opinion on this, NRS is just going to choose the most popular ones. So we know the changes are coming because Mortal Kombat did their typical thing when the final tournament before the next major update for a season or something is going to happen. They drop a poll on the Mortal Kombat Twitch page when the tournament is going on, asking which of 4 characters need to be nerfed the most by the community. In this case, NRS asked Johnny, Kenshi, Ashura, or Mileena. Johnny Cage was the most voted one, followed by Kenshi, then Ashura, and finally Mileena. You might think Mileena is kind of confusing to be in there with 3 of the top 5 characters in the game, but that is because NRS usually sticks a character in there that performs really well at low ranks. So Mileena makes perfect sense. I bet you at the low ranks, there are tons of players getting hit by the overhead and low, and then getting hit with tons of damage over and over again, like 40 to 50% combos. You might be in the top 1,000 and think if they change Mileena, that's crazy. There is 100,000 players that struggle super hard against her. They did this in MK11, it makes sense. It doesn't mean Mileena would be changed. So how does NetherRealm buff/nerf characters in their game? It always surprises people that haven't been playing MK games for a long time that there aren't really changes that come out of nowhere. Like if you play like Overwatch, Fortnite, Apex, stuff like that, there are changes that nobody asked for being put into the game solely because the intention of those are to shift the meta because it's a live service game. You shift it up just to keep it fresh, get new players signing back in, and that's the point of them. They weren't asked for at all, but they'll change things. Plus, in those games, the main mechanic is still aiming for an FPS. So by changing character strengths, or maybe some damage inputs on a gun, it doesn't change much. I mean, it changes the meta of the characters you pick, but it doesn't completely ruin your game experience, because vice versa, on Mortal Kombat, most players in this game only ever learn how to play one single character. Most of the people that get on Mortal Kombat 1 are more casual, and the only character they learn is the one they stick with forever. They don't go branch out because it's hard. It's much harder than learning to aim in an FPS. I bet you play multiple different FPS games. Fighting games, it is hard to remember, and if you're already not very good at it, you just stick to one character and just have fun on the limited times you get on the game. So, Mortal Kombat games are patched much differently. The big thing for these is that they don't get patches until there is enough community pressure. NetherRealm would not change anything if we weren't saying anything about it. It just wouldn't change. They just wouldn't go in there and throw in a new patch out of nowhere. And so once that community pressure finally builds, we get the patch. And 50% of the time, NetherRealm gets it right. Past that, about 20% of the time, we run into issues where a character was either overbuffed or over-nerfed. The following 20% of changes are changes that weren't enough. Think of Shiva in MK11 that took 3 nerfs in 3 separate patches to get right, or Shao Kahn in MK11 that took like 3 patches again of buffs to get him right. So that's the next 20%. And then finally, we have the 10% that are really controversial because they're either aimed at satisfying the top pro players or they're aimed at satisfying the casual players. A good example of that is Katana in MK11. Nobody that was a casual in MK11 thought Katana was top tier because they didn't know the secret to making her good. I could go into a whole video explaining why MK11 Katana was super good at the high ranks, but essentially she had a special move that nobody outside the top 1000 was using because they just truly didn't watch videos on it, didn't really know about it, and it's the one where the 3 fans came out, it gave her infinite plus frames, combos, all that stuff. That got her nerfed, and a lot of casual fans were super confused and angry because in their eyes, and probably the predominant, amount of players' eyes, NetherRealm took a average character and made her worse for no reason. So those are the changes that happened the final 10% of the time. Changes where people are completely confused because it doesn't actually target your demographic of playing, whether it's you are a high tier player or you are a low tier player. It's something that's getting changed that doesn't involve your subsection, so it can seem really weird. But it's pretty rare. So let's start with the cameos. The best way to demonstrate this for you is by going through the top 100 Elder God players, like from 1 to 100 rank in Elder God, and counting the amount of cameo appearances for each one are in that top 100. I did these types of videos in MK11 and it was a little better because I could go to the actual MMR ranked leaderboard. NRS, please bring that back. In the top 100, the most picked character for 33 players was Kung Lao Kameo. And you want to see how obvious it is that Kung Lao needs a nerf and will be getting a nerf, obviously. The next most played cameo in top 100 is Serena with 12 picks in top 100. Before we move to the next, yeah, Kung Lao takes up 1/3 of the top 100 spots and is 20 plus away from the next most chosen cameo. It's ridiculous. Everyone knows that character is incredibly strong. Following that, we actually have a tie between 2 cameos, one being Striker with 10 and the other being Sub-Zero with 10. I'd like to put Striker above Sub-Zero though, because Sub-Zero is heavily skewed because all of those almost are Kenshi mains. And Kenshi is a top 5 character, and also Kenshi is extremely hard to play for most characters. So of course, the people that can actually play him are pretty skilled at the game, end up in top 100, and use Sub-Zero because it's a good cameo with him. The next cameo after that is Goro, where 9 of the top 100 players use him. That makes so much sense. I mean, Goro's good with Katana, Goro's good with Tanya, Goro's good with Kung Lao. Goro grants plus frames on stuff. It allows for armored wake up to be safe and plus, or for some of these characters to be like an armored wake up that combos instead of, just knocking the opponent down. After that, there's actually a drop-off, so they're not that important. I'm just going to tell you the numbers, but we're not going to talk about them. Scorpion and Sonya both have 5 players in the top 100. Jax has 4 players in the top 100. Kano and Frost have 3 players in the top 100. Sector and Darius each have 2 players in the top 100. And Motaro has 1 player in the top 100. Somebody told me, though, that really close to getting Tremor there, so you could maybe say there are 14 out of 16 cameos in the top 100, so that's a problem. Only 13 of the 16 cameos are represented in top 100, and the big reason for that is Kung Lao is taking up 1/3 of the spots. So Kung Lao will be getting nerfed, and how Kung Lao will be nerfed is low hat cooldown is going to be increased, meaning the recharge rate has gotten slower. You won't be able to throw it out every second of the day. But this is where it gets controversial. You'll have people that want Striker and Serena to be nerfed in MK1. In my opinion, I don't want Striker or Serena nerfs to be big if they have to happen at all. The reason being is if we just keep nerfing cameos, they're just going to end up sucking, and then main characters will suck because in this game, there are like no safe special moves on half the cast, so you just need cameos. It's the whole way you hit confirm in this game, unlike in MK11, where you chose a special move slot to do it. The way Serena would likely be changed is when you hit her, when you're tossing the 4 glaives, like if she does it up close on block, the glaives disappear. And the way Striker would be nerfed is similar to Kung Lao, where it would just be an decreased recharge rate for his nades. It would be the big thing that would be changed. I think, though, we just buff up a ton of cameos. We do tone down Lao. He is so far above everybody else, you just have to bring him down. Otherwise, there's no reason to switch. Like, those numbers are incredible. I know Striker and Serena can be annoying to you, but they're not so far out in front of everybody, unlike Kung Lao, who is. But who will be buffed? Well, the obvious answer is everybody who wasn't on that list. So, probably Cyrax, and probably Shujinko, and potentially Tremor, because Tremor is very character specific, and honestly, he's not struggling per se, but he doesn't synergize well. It's weird, like he has a decent kit, but a lot of the main characters just aren't built to use the kit, so they might just change the properties a little bit, so more characters can actually use the abilities better. The Cyrax buff will likely do with his bomb. Nobody uses the Cyrax bomb, that would be improved. Most people believe that Cyrax bomb will not hurt you or launch you in certain states that your character is in. With Shujinko, nobody really knows, because everything that's been good about Shujinko has essentially busted the game to where he's the #1 cameo pick as a counter pick, and I think Shujinko will stay pretty low tier for a long time because there's not a lot you can do without essentially making some matchups like break when the opponent chooses Shujinko against you, like kind of like the Gearus one or the Sub-Zero one. Oh yeah, the other Serena nerf, if NetherRealm chooses the slow nerf route, will be take away Serena's extra health. So I think if they're not going to just pull the trigger on that, they're going to go to she either is minus 50 health, which would be, you know, a little bigger than just taking her down 50 HP. They might go the full minus 10 HP because she's pretty strong and she's kind of similar to Kano, so I could see it happening. I did the same thing with the main character roster and took the amount of each character in the top 100 in Kombat League. So this is the big reason I miss when you could see the MMR leaderboards with the most played character. The most played character is Omni-Man at the #1 spot with 17 picks, which just isn't true. This is going to happen next season with Quan Chi. Essentially, if you're a top 100 player, you are good enough to play the DLC right away in the early stages of Kombat League, probably up to Demigod or even God, and you just get a ton of games in up to that point before it gets really, really hard and you go back to your main. So we're gonna put an asterisk by that because it's not true. I just miss where we could actually see it because you don't see that many Omni-Mans in top 100 playing anymore. It's just legacy games because he's been out the entire season as the DLC. Unsurprisingly, Johnny Cage is the next most played character with 10 people in the top 100 using him. Again, with Omni-Man, we'll never know if that's higher or lower, but yeah, it's Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage is followed by Ashura with 7, Kenshi with 6, Liu Kang with 6. With 5 players playing these characters, we have Katana, Tanya, Li Mei, Kung Lao, Sindel. Yeah, and that's it, but that's crazy. And I like how it just conveniently, it's like all the females in the cast, it feels like all with 5 players playing them. General Shao and Melina each have 4 players representing them in the top 100. With 2 players in the top 100 playing all these characters, we have Baraka, Sub-Zero, Havoc, Shang Tsung, Smoke, and Scorpion and Reptile. And then with 1 player in the top 100 for each of these characters, we have Reiko, Natara, Gearus, Rain, and that's it. I think, yeah, and that rounds out our roster, which is huge. That's what I wanted to say. Kind of huge. Every single character in the entire roster has at least 1 player in the top 100, which is really, really cool. That's not to say that Kenshi and Johnny don't need some toned down changes, some nerfs. It's just, it's kind of cool, and it goes to show the main character balance right now is definitely at least a little better, which is why you see so many people upset with the cameos right now. Yes, I know a ton of characters like Reptile, Sub-Zero, I mean, I'm gonna say Scorpion. There's a lot of characters here that could use some buffs, but at the very least, if you work hard, you can reach top 100. So, Johnny Cage's nerfs are likely to be that his 1-frame parry will go away. Kenshi's nerfs will likely either be a timer reduction on Ghost before Ghost goes to sleep, or frame reduction so Kenshi and the Ghost can't keep you in an infinite block string that you just can't get out of, and it's so hard to armor out of. and it has mix-ups on top of it for full combos. Now, the maybes are Ashra. Because Ashra placed pretty low in the poll, you could tone down Ashra, and the way you would do that, I think, is just tone down her damage a little bit. I feel like you just ruin the archetype of the character if you take away some plus frames and stuff like that, and the way she plays. You just need to tone down the damage a bit, because again, when she gets combos, it's super huge damage for the fact that she is chipping you out at all times in the match, because yeah, she has that wave that is plus and really long-reaching normals. Sindel is also a maybe, but I don't think they will touch Sindel because Sindel is mainly OP because of Kung Lao hat, and she gets the best vortex in the game. So a lot of people were asking me about Sindel getting a nerf. I don't think so. It's just going to be Kung Lao that gets touched, and then, you know, NRS will evaluate Sindel. So this is where I don't feel like I should speak on what characters need to be buffed and how, because it'll essentially start a war in the comments, because more important than your Kameo, everyone's loyalty is into their main. Everybody in the game, even Johnny Cage and Kenshi mains, want buffs. Every single one of you. You would be happy with the buff. You would love it. Very few of you are like, nah, don't buff my character. Even the upper middle tier characters like Geras and stuff, you'll see people on Twitter like Geras needs buffs. So it's impossible for me to talk about. I could say my opinion, but I think I would rather not. Like, I have these ideas in my mind that I'm fairly certain will happen, but I just don't want to leave a character out, because then I'll just upset people, because I don't 100% know. We know from the polls and stuff from like Ed Boon's tweets and all that, that these changes are coming for the nerfs. We don't exactly know how the buffs will happen. So as my final question to you that I want you to leave in the comments, how do you think the meta will change with those nerfs happening? And then what buffs would you like for the main character roster? There are so many buffs you could think of, but honestly, Sub-Zero is definitely getting something. Scorpion probably gets a buff if Striker gets nerfed, so that would be pretty cool. Then we have Reptile probably getting an invisibility buff. And yeah, just let me know in the comments what you think. So yeah, sorry to you guys whose character is almost certainly getting nerfed, which is Kenshi, Johnny Cage, and then Kung Lao Kameo, potentially Ashra. I get it, you know. I was a Scorpion main in MK11 when Teleport got changed from a mid to a high. I've been there. You'll figure it out. I still love Scorpion forever afterwards. It needs to happen at some point, but the buffs need to happen too. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Let's see how this goes on Thursday. Appreciate you. Peace.